Hey y'all, and welcome to the how to put your leather insert video in. This is for the leather GG insert that looks like this, and it fits the horse muzzle. There may be modifications coming out soon that allow it to fit the pony muzzle as well. And we actually do have a way to modify this to fit the mini muzzle. And we will likely be coming out with one that you don't have to modify at all, that just goes in the other sizes, but this video is for the horse size and the leather insert. And this one will provide a softer surface for their teeth, as well as restrict grass a little bit more, not quite as much as the diet insert. You'll notice I've got it soaking in water, so if you've not already soaked it, I recommend soaking it in warm to hot water for about 10 minutes. You want the water to be not boiling hot, but if you have water that is warm enough that it's maybe not super comfortable to stick your hands in, that's ideal. And then you want to soak it for about 10 minutes. I've had this soaking for a while, but the water's not really warm anymore. But basically you just want to be able to wiggle these tabs, especially these here and here. This is going to be in the front side, and you'll notice it's slightly angled. So what you're going to do is just bend this a little bit, and it's helpful to kind of bend it a few times just to get everything a little flexible. And you will want to let this dry completely before you put it on your horse. So make sure you keep that in mind. And so I'm just gonna send it through there, and it might take a little bit to push it through, because what happens is the leather gets a lot softer, but it also swells up when it's wet. So I'm gonna get that through there, and then I'm going to get the bottom one. Actually, I'm going to put the sides through next. It's been a while since I've done one of these. So you're going to pinch, move my little bucket of water out of the way. You're going to pinch these little center slots or tabs in while you push down on the side tab. You're going to push that through, and then do the same thing over here. So pull up on this middle one and then press down on that side one, and just kind of work your way around. If this is really challenging, you might want to soak it a little bit longer. And then got my last one through. Okay, and then once those are in, you're just gonna pull up right here, and you might have to shift it around just a little bit to get that one through. The front and back are a little bit of a hard squeeze right now, and you can get like a screwdriver or something to kind of press that through the rest of the way. I'm just using my fingernail, and it seems to be working okay. I'd actually like to push that in a little bit more, but I can do that in a minute. Okay, so you want to make sure that it seems like it's lined up fairly well. And then you're going to press down on these sides right here. And that's basically what it's going to look like. So now that I've got it in, it's time to apply the zip ties. And what you're going to do is you're going to stick them through here so that they sit right in that little notch, and then go around this little center tab. And I like to get, see, I did it the wrong direction, so it's not gonna hook. Hang on. You want the ribbed side to be in, so it actually engages. Otherwise it just slides right through. Okay. Did I do it wrong again? Looks like it twisted on me. See if I can get it to flip around without pulling it all the way out. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm not gonna do it super tight right this second, but you do want this little housing to kind of sit in there so that when we cut these off, the pointy end is pointed into the leather tab and not where it can scratch your horse. And you certainly don't want it on the inside of the muzzle. All right, so now I'm gonna get the other side and I'm gonna slide the tail through, making sure the ribbed side is pointing in towards the leather. And then I'm gonna tighten it just like that. Okay. So now that we've gotten it here, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I've kind of got it where I want. So here you can see the tab is poking out plenty, which is great. Here I can see it poking out there. I don't love that that's not poking through more, and those look good. So I am gonna see if I can work this a little bit to try and get it to poke through just a little bit more. And kind of shift them around a little bit. It looks like I've got that top edge just kind of caught on there. There we go. Okay. It is poking through a little bit. All right, we got a little bit more. And so what I want is for the way that those are angled, I want it to kind of be pressed into the side so that as it dries, it will harden and kind of bite into this corner, so it'll be hard for it to back out. So that's why I want it poked through a little bit. That tab swelled up quite a bit, which is normal with the water. And then now that I have it there, I'm just gonna look and make sure that everything seems like it's sitting pretty flush. And it does appear to be doing that. And so now it looks pretty evenly through, and it looks pretty evenly seated across the bottom of the muzzle. So now I'm gonna go ahead and pull my zip ties nice and tight. You want these to be pretty much as snug as possible, because when those are tight, it's gonna really help secure it down in the corners away from your horse's mouth and teeth and help it stay in place. So that's pretty tight, and it'll be a lot better if you can do the zip ties while it's still pretty wet, because the zip tie itself will kind of bite into the leather and it'll create a little spot for the zip tie to go. And that will also help secure it as well. So now I'm just gonna leave this until it dries, until it feels fairly hard. When it's time to put it on your horse, what you can do is you can actually just like dip it in some water or run a little bit of water over it if you want. And what that does is it creates a nice slippery surface on the surface of the leather so that it's nice and comfortable and soft and slippery for their teeth. You don't have to do that, but sometimes when the leather dries, it does feel pretty hard. But when they're using the grazing muzzle and drinking and eating through it, it stays really nice and slippery and creates a nice soft surface and doesn't hold on to any dirt or debris on the top side of it to do any damage to your horse's teeth. Sometimes you will get stuff caught like between the layers, and typically if you just don't get in water and kind of swish it around or get like a hard brush or something and kind of scrub it around, that will usually help remove that. But typically it's trapped between the layers, so it's not interacting with your horse's mouth. So yeah, that is how you put those in. Oh, and then the last thing that we would do is cut those off, and I actually forgot my scissors, so I'm gonna do that off camera. But yeah, you want to get them nice and short so they're ending kind of into that leather right there, so they're not gonna poke anyone. So, and that's easy to do with scissors. So that is how you install your grazing muzzle leather insert.